Welcome to episode 70 of the Owl Diary. And as you can see, early in the morning here we have got snow and it's getting rather thick. In fact, I sent a message to one of my colleagues who was going to come and do some maintenance today. They said, "Oh, is it really heavy snow there?" I said, "Yes, I've woken up with 6 inches, which is pretty good for a man of my age." Well, I've put on my coat so I can do the morning inspection. We do this every single morning with the birds anyway. Go out, just make sure they're actually alive, essentially. Just checking they're normal. They should be sitting on a perch like normal. If we notice anything unusual, then obviously that's cause for concern. So in here, we've got Scout the Ural owl, and she's absolutely fine in the cold weather. No problem at all. They're an Arctic species, well, semi-Arctic at least anyway. And she's chirping at me as normal, wanting something to eat. So that's tick on that one. Perfectly normal behaviour. Well, about 5:30 this morning, one of the full-time colleagues came and took a team of 5 birds, and they're driving down the motorway now. I have talked to them on the phone. They're driving at about 30 miles per hour as the snow is falling. We did know it was forecast, but it did also kind of look like it could be sleet, but as we can see, it is pretty heavy. As I turn the camera around, you can see out behind me here as the snow is still falling. So we were, in this area back here, going to be doing some more aviary construction. There's one more enclosure to build, so there were a team here volunteering their hours, which was so appreciative for actually starting the build, and that's the person who messaged me this morning saying, "Well, I don't think we can do it today." And if we have a look up at the top of the this is the mesh here, and actually it's interesting how the snow is clinging to the mesh on the ceiling of the safety corridor and isn't falling through. So as a result, the floor here isn't too bad, and of course the birds in their enclosures are completely fine because they've got the full cover there as well. We've got the Bengal eagle owl there just looking around. This is one of our barn owls here. I think that's Crunchy, just sat. Females. How you doing, girls? I was going to fly you today, maybe do a bit of indoor hand-to-hand. And this bird here is the ashy-faced owl that we've actually recently acquired, and we won't be able to keep it. It's just not quite tame enough, unfortunately, to be used. It's an older bird. We'll find a really good home for it, though. And if you want to know more about that, you can see that in another video that I produced, which I think will be releasing very soon, if it's not already out. So I brought the 2 female barn owls inside because I need to weigh them and see where they're at. Their weights were a little bit high yesterday and the day before, so I've been gradually reducing their food amounts down a little bit to get them back down. They've had a bit of time off free flying. We've been using our other barn owls for that, our males. So what I'll do is try one at a time. Out you come. There we go. So this one is Fudge, I think. Hold on, I'll tell you in a moment. I have to look at the anklet. Yeah, I believe it is. Let's see where she's at. So they should be sitting at a weight of around 10.5 ounces. No, thank you. Come here. Very excitable. Okay, sit still. So 11.25, so a little bit high still, but you will no doubt fly at that particular weight. Right, time for Whisper to come out. Here we go. Come on then. Now, let's see where you're at. They are sisters, Fudge and Whisper. They're about 9 months old now. 10.75, that's a bit more where they should be. Sort of 9.5 would be the male flying weights, and then the females, that fractional bit bigger, are actually about 10.5. So we'll do a bit of indoor flying to the hand just to sort of offer a bit of enrichment and training for them. Right, I've got some chick legs, of course. And you can see she's looking interested, and she comes. Now, out of the 2, I think Whisper has been the slightly better flyer, a little bit more responsive, really, since we've been training and flying them. But there's no reason why both can't be fantastic barn owls, and it really is important to keep these birds handled and flown, especially owls, even when we are not sort of taking them out regularly, as it were, because we might give them some time off displays and just do the odd day or whatever. So I'm really keen to get these 2 females back out flying well, and of course because they're reared together we can actually fly them together in shows as well. Now I did actually put one of the males back in with the female, not for any breeding reason, just because we have hand-reared all three together. So Crunchy and of course Casper is in with Crunchy. So they used to be together when they were younger. So I thought, give it a go, I put it in there, and I noticed that there was some fighting going on between one of the females here and the male. So after about a minute of them scrapping around the aviary, I took the male out again. So they will have to be kept separate now. So I won't be flying more than 2 in a show, either the 2 males together or the 2 females. Very useful actually when it's a very big arena and we have lots of hand-to-hand stuff going on. So we can have one going at one end of the arena and another going at the other end perhaps, and then a bit of a crossover. Something like that would be quite nice. Right, pop you back for now. I will be giving them both probably half a mouse, I think, afterwards. We'll bring Fudge back out. So if you're not aware, that screeching sound, that is the sound that a Parnell makes. Wow, you're keen today. And you were the one that was a slightly higher weight as well, so that's very interesting. Okay. They gulp it down just like that. So yeah, the screeching sound is what they typically do for territorial reasons, and also when they're asking me for food, it's essentially saying, hello, I'm here, feed me. Okay, I'll get some more food. Oh, whoa, she's actually landed on the lighting stand. Come on. It's an LED stand, so there's no heat coming off it, at least. Wow, really keen. I really hoped today I could have had them outside doing long flights across the fields and things, but sometimes you have to just sacrifice that and instead make do with what you can. And you know, some of the birds, as I mentioned, are currently today. Oh yeah, he sent me an update.
I've run into a minor problem. We're on a complete standstill.
Traffic not looking good on the M25, but he has made it to the first care home. And he's got 2 today, I believe. And of course those birds, not all of them, but some of them are going to fly indoors today where it's dry and warm, so they'll have no problem at all. We just have to see how much snow we get and keep an eye on the weather forecast. So, a few phone calls to make since I can't go outside and fly birds. Starting off with the accountant.
Hello.
Oh, hi there. Have you had a good Christmas, New Year and everything?
Oh, thank you. Not too bad. Thank you. Are you ringing about your account?
Yes, please, because obviously
Yes.
I'd like to arrange a time to come in before it gets...
Yes. Well, I know they're in draft, and I've passed them, because of my crisis that we spoke about before, I've passed them through to Monica to have a look at, and I've not heard back quite where she's at with them.
Right.
Yeah, have you heard anything from anybody?
I haven't, not since before Christmas, just on a few questions they
I
had.
know they've got them all drafted up, so can you leave it with me and I'll get back to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay then, Lyle, thank you.
All right, I'll wait to hear from you. All right then, thank you.
Yeah. Right, bye.
Thank you, bye-bye. So in the UK, essentially you've got to have your bookkeeping submitted, as it were, your tax return by the end of January. Now I handed my books in about 2 weeks after the April date, and I try and get that done really, really early. And yet my accountants have had issues and it's been going on and on and on. So I don't even know how much income tax I'm going to have to pay, along with all the other VAT and taxes I pay, but this is part of running a business. Hello.
I'm at JB's Autos.
Oh, hi there, yeah. First, I just want to apologise. I thought the van had been taken to you for its service. I've just found out recently that it hadn't been. We weren't able to get it to you. My staff couldn't do it. Anyway, can we please reschedule for that van to be serviced sometime pretty soon?
I've got pretty much any day next week, whatever suits you.
Next week, brilliant. We may as well go for Monday then, if that's okay. Service.
No worries, mate. We will see you on Monday.
Brilliant, thank you very much.
Cheers, Ryan, bye.
Cheers, thanks, bye-bye. We've got the van fleet, as it were, and we service them, we have to do that. So, right, while I'm here, it's probably a good idea to check the weather forecast, because I've heard a rumour that it's going to get colder. Obviously, when it snows, it's like 1 degree, but if it gets colder, that could be a bit of an issue for the birds. So, let's have a little look. Okay, so we can see on the screen that in the night, it's going to go down to -6 degrees Celsius. Yeah, that's pretty cold. And they're not wrong, it is freezing cold. Not really a problem for a bird like Eva here. She's a Canadian great horned owl, a bit like a snowy owl. They can be absolutely fine in the cold, but me not so much. Now if you look here, this is the area I showed you earlier on, where we're building another aviary onto the back of what you can see behind me there. But it's 6 days after the snow. It hasn't snowed since. This snow, which you can probably hear, crunching down below my feet, has been here all week long because the temperature hasn't risen at all whatsoever. And as I say, we're not worried about a bird like this one, but we certainly are worried about some of our other birds. Which is why my conservatory has looked like this on an evening every night this week. I've actually been away down south a bit doing a load of meetings and bookings and so on, and I had team members here on the evening bringing in certain birds. So the very smallest owls and of course our Harris hawks or Harris's hawks. And this is because a smaller bird, a juvenile bird perhaps, or a desert bird like a Harris hawk are more susceptible to something called wing typidemia. This is a bit like frostbite in birds. It is something that falconers have to be careful of in cold weather, because if a bird does get wing typidemia, it's likely that never fly properly again, and it may even actually not survive it as well. It is a really serious condition. But in the boxes, they actually then contain their own body heat quite well. And inside this conservatory as well, which isn't really heated necessarily, it's warmer at that end of the room, but this end isn't that warm, but they're certainly a lot warmer than they would be out there in the -6 conditions. I mean, all week people in this city have been trying to walk and not fall over. People have been walking in the roads because the roads are clear and they're gritted, but the paths are just solid ice. And the snow that was sort of 5 inches has gone down a bit, but it's just a good inch of very rock hard ice, and it really isn't good. We're just waiting for it to melt now so we can actually get out. We can't even clean the aviaries properly because everything's frozen up, so I've been bringing things in to clean, like the boxes, the astroturfs. I've been doing it in the sink and things like that, and so it really is an issue. And that is the problem with cold weather, is that some birds can really suffer from it. I've never had wing typidemia. Let's give that a bit of height, and hopefully I never will. And it's just a case of avoiding it as best we can. But I know falconers who have been in this game for much longer than I have, 25, 30 years or more, and have never had it, and then one winter they accidentally get it. It's not so much the cold that does it, it's actually the wet and cold combined, and that's something we want to be very careful of. So inside a fully enclosed aviary, a bird should be okay. And then it gets down to about 0 or -1 degrees. I don't worry too much. But when it is getting to this level of cold, and a prolonged coldness as well, it makes sense that during the day when the sun's out, they get a bit of sunshine, but on an evening, they're in their boxes to keep nice and warm. That's why they're making such a racket now. In fact, let's get, I think that's Maverick I can hear. He's in this one here. Let's have you then, boy, come on. That's it. Of course, they poo in their boxes overnight, which is not very nice. More cleaning to do. I don't know if you can hear the commotion here. There's a barn owl that can hear me talking, so it wants to come out and get fed. Let's just weigh you while we're here. You are 1, 9 and an 1/8, that's about right. He flies between 1.9 and 1.10, something like that. He's actually been doing some of the bookings this week, so he's been flying indoors, and really winter, that is what we're doing quite a lot of the time. In fact, the weather really is so bad now. Generally all year there's a risk of rain or a storm or something. Trying to actually run a bird of prey business outside can be very challenging. So we have got some ideas to create maybe an indoor space that people can visit that would actually allow us to run sort of handling and flying experiences pretty much any day of the year, even in winter. And if we get something like that set up and running, that's going to be really, really beneficial for us. Anyway, let's get you fed and sorted and back out for the day, and we wait for this weather to clear up and the snow to actually melt. Hope you enjoyed this video. Stay warm, and thanks for watching.